So let us start the lecture. Good morning. Optical Fiber Communication DET 3202. Course outcomes. The students will be able to understand the different communication media, various blocks of the blocks and applications of the optical fiber communication system. The students will be able to understand the optics rules and measure the optical fiber cable parameters. The students will be able to identify suitable optical source for a given application. Students will be able to identify suitable optical detector for a given application. Students will be able to identify suitable connector and measure the losses in the optical fiber cable. Students will be able to understand architecture of the optical network for a given application. So let us very quickly, very fast revise the things which we have in the 6th chapter. Optical network is a very fast communication network, fastest communication network, and it is a very long distance, long haul communication network. It is having high bandwidth, long distance communication, and is more flexible and cost effective network. These are the advantages. And there are nodes, trunks, stations, and topology, protocols are the components for the optical networks, and these stations can be communicating through the node, through the trunk of the network. So stations are the network which serves as a source and destination. And these are the devices. For example, computer in the telecommunication. Then trunk is a basically transmission line in optical fiber cable. In order to transmit the optical signal, network may have multiple trunks. Nodes is nothing but act as a hub for the multiple transmission. In case of single transmission line, no node is required. Various topologies are there for multiple fiber cable connectivity, connected with the nodes. Which style of the connection is adapted, that is the topology. Multiple nodes connected together denotes the topology of the network. Then there is a router. It is basically placed inside the optical network that provides the suitable path. It provides the suitable path for the signal. So efficient path or optimum path. So that is the router. Then network topologies, bus, ring, star, mesh are there. Then local area network categories are LAN, campus network, MAN, WAN are there. These all you have studied in the computer network or data communication. Then optical amplifiers operate solely in optical domain with no interconversion of the photon or electrons. Then optical amplifiers are placed at intervals along the fiber link to provide the linear amplification of the transmitted optical signal. And regenerative repeaters are replaced by the optical amplifiers, and repeaters, if required, optical devices for the source detector together with the substantial electronic circuitry will be replaced. Regenerative repeaters are doing the pulse slicing, retiming, reshaping. All these are then will be avoided, saved rather. Task or work functioning is saved. The optical amplifier provides a much simpler solution in a single inline component. Any kind of modulation or virtually any transmission rate, any kind of modulation, any transmission rate it can work with. Moreover, such device is bidirectional and sufficiently linear also to allow it to multiplex, so wavelength division multiplication is possible with these amplifiers. Single mode fiber system effect of the signal dispersion is small, attenuation is less due to the fiber losses become major limitations on the repeater spacing. In such systems we can employ the optical fibers. The two main approaches of the optical amplifiers are one which utilizes the stimulated emission of injection carriers, second which is the gain provided by stimulated Raman stimulated Brilliant scattering or rare earth dopants. So one is semiconductor amplifiers, second is fiber amplifiers, especially rare earth and Raman. All these types have high gain or wide spectral, but this Brilliant is having small gain bandwidth. The semiconductor optical amplifiers offer advantage due to their smaller size, and also it can be integrated with the subsystems, and it is compatible also. So this is the graph which shows the gain bandwidth details of various amplifiers, that is Raman and SOA, then semiconductor optical SOA, very wide bandwidth and high gain, also gain bandwidth is very large, and Raman optical parametric is also having the gain bandwidth sufficiently large, and but maximum is the erbidium doped fiber amplifiers. So those can offer of the order of 300 or more distance for the placing of the amplifiers once it is amplified. But Brilliant amplifier, as you see, is a very narrow bandwidth of the order of 50 megahertz only. So SOA erbidium doped amplifier, Raman amplifier are having very wide spectral bandwidths, and these can be used as optical amplifiers, and those amplifiers can allow the wavelength division multiplexing. Okay. So this is the in case of Brilliant is not possible, and because it is 50 megahertz only, it is very narrow band, but its use is a channel selector as a filter, channel selector. So Brilliant can be used as a channel selector in WDM system, allowing the amplification of particular channel and avoiding the amplification or selection of other remaining channels. But SOA is having the low power consumption, which is the beneficial. SOA amplifier presents a fewer problems like compatibility in line interconnection with the optical fibers, and SOA presents more developed amplifier of generic type. Research is also going on. The most practical amplifiers include SOA and EDFA. The new pumping methods and material are also is improving in the Raman amplifiers. So research is going on. So this is the block diagram of general form of optical amplifier. So signal is fade, weak signal, and optical amplifying medium is there, where pumping of the power either electrical or optical is there, and amplified signal is achieved. So semiconductor fibers are having it is polarization dependent, but relatively high gain, output saturation power 5 to 10 dBm, very large bandwidth. It can operate for some of the nanometers, 800, 1300, 1500 wavelengths. Compact and easily integrated with the other devices, and can be integrated into arrays. Noise figure and crosstalk levels due to nonlinear phenomena such as four-way mixing is possible. High noise figure is there. So semiconductor optical amplifier, its block diagram, weak signal is fed to the semiconductor cavity, fabric pallet cavity, which is having anti-reflective coating on the input as well as output side, and electrical drive current is provided to the semiconductor cavity, and electrical pumping is done. So SOA is similar to laser cavity. It is discrete amplifier. It can be integrated into arrays, into amplifying, switching and gating devices. SOA are finding application in all the optical regeneration systems. Now the rare earth doped fiber amplifier, EDFA, rare earth doped fiber amplifiers are finding increasing importance in the optical communication system, because most of the important versions of EDFA doped fiber amplifier, EDFA, due to their ability to amplify signals as low as 1.55 micrometer wavelength. Okay, micrometer wavelength. So rare earth doped fiber amplifier, EDFA, is having this block diagram. Weak signal is there, which is to be amplified, which is coupled to the coupler, and coupler is also having the pump laser, that is the 980 or 1480 pump laser, which is coming through the isolator. Isolator provides the isolation to the pump laser from the coupler to have no reflection which is interfering. Then there is a very long of the order of kilometer fiber, which is iridium doped fiber, which is acting, this fiber acting as amplification medium. And there is a narrow bandwidth because the fiber is having spurious noise generation. This noise is filtered and then we get the amplified signal. So advantage of EDFA is high power transfer efficiency from the pump, that is signal power is to the signal power, that is more than 50%, and wide spectral band amplification with the relative flat gain of more than 20 dB is there. So for very wide bandwidth gain is sufficiently high, and that too it is very flat, which is not reducing for some band part of the band. So useful for, that's why it is useful for WDM. Saturation output is more than 1 milliwatt, 10 to 25 dBm. Advantages are there. Gain time constant is long, more than 1000 milliseconds to overcome patterning and intermodulation distortion, that is having the low noise. So large dynamic range is there, low noise figure is there. Then polarization independence suitable for long haul applications. So relatively large devices, kilometer length of the fiber is required. This is the disadvantage of EDFA, and not easily integrated with the other device. This is also disadvantage, which is same as that of the not easily integrated with the other devices is a disadvantage of SOA also, but this is same with the EDFA. But EDFA is SOA is very compact device and size is very miniaturized, micrometric scale, and so that's why it is compatible with the system, optical system, but it is relatively large device, that kilometer length fiber is required. And it is having one more disadvantage, which is ASE, that is amplified spontaneous emission is there without any input output is generated, and this is the spontaneous noise. And there are crosstalk effects, gain saturation effects are also there. These are all disadvantages of EDFA, but EDFA is most suitable amplification system. So basics of ED amplifier about the optical gain. Rarer doped optical amplifiers work much like a laser. Primary difference is they do not have the resonator. Lasing operation takes place in the fiber. Separate special resonator is not there. Fabry-Perot resonator is not there. So amplification occurs primarily through stimulated emission process. The medium is pumped until the population inversion state is achieved. The pump powers are typically several at the 20 to 250 milliwatt. Then optical gain also has the isolator is used to reduce the reflections into the amplifier, and a narrow band optical filter is used to reduce the transmission of the amplifier spontaneous emission frequency component, which is the spurious frequency coming as spontaneous emitted noise. The resultant optical gain depends both on the optical frequency and local beam intensity. Okay. The optical gain depends on optical frequency as well as local beam intensity within the amplifier. Then there is a WDM after the amplifiers. The WDM is a fiber optic transmission technique that enables to use the multiple wavelength over a single fiber. Okay. So two wavelengths of the fiber can travel in one fiber. Several signals can be transmitted in the optical waveguide at different wavelengths. And early fiber optic transmission used to have the single strand cable of the glass, and light was flashed on and off, and symbols 1 and 0 are sent over it. Actual light could be almost of any wavelength. Any wavelength could have been they are using those days. But in WDM, multiple wavelength can be sent. So multiple wavelength can be separated out in lambda 1 and lambda 2 from mixture of lambda 1 plus lambda 2 with the help of filter, maybe the diachroic mirror and semi-transparent mirror, etc. So That dichroic mirrors can have one color to reflect and one color, one wavelength they reflect, one wavelength they pass through, transmit through. So those wavelengths can be separated. Similarly is the green rod lens, and at exactly the particular length, that is focal points or 0.25 pitch, filter can be placed, which is again having the same one wavelength is transmitted, one wavelength it gets reflected, and since it is sinusoidal path, it can be adjusted with the fibers to collect these wavelengths. So WDM is a technique of fiber which is having the uses multiple light waves to send over a data of same medium. WDM does it with the help of multiplexing, and again it is demultiplexing. WDM allows communication in both the direction. So this is for unidirectional system. Multiplexer is there and the demultiplexer on other side. If this other side is having multiplexer, it can send data and it can have demultiplexer. So this is unidirectional. And if you in case of bidirectional, same fiber and same multiplexer demultiplexer system can have multiplexing demultiplexing simultaneously, and some of the waves are multiplexed and sent over it, and some of the signals received by these mux demux, and some of the signals it can multiplex and send, and the first mux demux receive and demultiplex it. So both directional communication is there. So process of wavelength division multiplexing, in which the optical signal from different transformer combined by, it is called multiplexing. Then different wavelengths are combined together and transmitted. Then combined signals are transmitted via the optical strand, and it is received at the receiving end, and demultiplexer splits the incoming beam into the components and sent to the corresponding receivers. And this is the WDM process. Then types of the WDM are normal wavelength division multiplexing WDM is there, that is also called bidirectional wavelength division multiplexing BWDM. Second is coarse wavelength division multiplexing CWDM, and third is a dense wavelength division multiplexing DWDM. Okay, normal wavelength wavelength division multiplexing is also called BWDM, bidirectional wavelength division multiplexing. It uses two normal wavelengths on one fiber. Coarse wavelength division multiplexing CWDM is defined as a system with fewer than 8 active wavelengths per fiber, and maximum it will be 8 in CWDM. And CWDM used for short range communication, so that it implies a wide range of frequencies with wavelengths that are spread apart. So since the frequencies or wavelength are very much spread apart, deviation in the wavelength or frequency cannot mix the wavelengths. So in that, the standardized channel spacing permits the room for the wavelength to drift the laser heat up and cool down during the operation. So if one wavelength is there, lambda 1, and another wavelength is lambda 2, sufficiently large gap is there in between the wavelengths of the two different sources which are flowing on the same medium. Even though the source is drifting due to the continuous working heat up, that is the ambient conditions, then also they do not mix, because sufficiently large distance is there in difference is there in between the wavelengths. So CDMA is a compact and cost effective option when the spectral efficiency is not important, but this is keeping the spectrum wavelengths far apart from each other, it will not give the spectral efficiency. So if the spectral efficiency is not important, we can go for the CDMA. Then last is a dense wavelength division multiplexing. These multiplexing very densely, very finely dividing the total spectrum, and it is allocating as lambda 1, lambda 2, dash 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 lambda n. Okay, so these are the dense wavelength division multiplexing. It defined in terms of frequencies. DWDM is denser wavelength spacing. It fits more channels onto the single fiber, but cost also more for implementation and operation. The DWDM is for systems with more than 8 active wavelengths. So up to 8 it is CWDM, more than 8 maybe 40 or 40 plus or 80 plus, maybe 200 176 channels. Then this DWDM divides spectrum very finely and fitting 40 plus channels onto a C band frequency, or 200 channels or 176 or 164 channel, and many. More than 8 is there minimum. So DWM stands for dense wavelength division multiplexing, which is an optical multiplexing technology used to increase the bandwidth over existing fiber backbone. The dense here refers to the fact that DWM technology supports more than 80 separate wavelengths, each is likely about 0.8 of nanometer wide on the single optical fiber. So this is a typical example. So there may be different than the 0.8 nanometer wavelength band is provided. Then in working principle, the DWM technology increases the network capacity and makes efficient use of bandwidth. The data from various different sources is put together on the optical fiber, in which each signal travels at the same speed, its own light wavelength. Then early channel is demultiplexed into original source at the receiver. Therefore, the different data formats with the different data rates can be transmitted together with the same time through one optical fiber. Okay. Therefore, different data formats with different data rates also can be transmitted together with same time through one optical fiber. So different data format, different data types, different data rates, all can be clubbed together, and it is possible to transmit over same time over the channel. So data format are different, like internet data, synchronous optical network data, that is SONET, synchronous optical network data SONET, and asynchronous transfer mode, that is ATM. So all these or any other are can be clubbed together, can be combined together, and again they may have different data rates. So all possibility are there. Then in working principle of the DWDM, the transmission capability of DWM is 4 to 8 times of TDM, time domain multiplexing. The EDFA, erbidium doped optical amplifiers, are deployed to boost the strength of the signal in DWDM basically, or any other SOEs also can be deployed. The signal can be transmitted to more than 300 km before regeneration. This is one typical value. Various systems will have different values, but this gives the idea about the usefulness of the amplifier. Okay. So signal can be transmitted more than 300 km before regeneration if amplifiers like erbidium doped fiber amplifiers or even SO is used in those cases, because they are having quite large bandwidth length product, gain bandwidth product. Then this is having one of the block diagram. The transmitter is there, receiver is here, and it is transmitting lambda 1 to lambda 176 wavelengths, all are clubbed together. Dense wavelength division multiplexer is there, which is passed on the single optical fiber, which is having erbidium doped fiber amplifiers in between at sufficiently long distance, obviously hundreds of kilometers, and then it arrives at the receiver. Receiver is also having dense wavelength division demultiplexer. Dense wavelength division multiplexer multiplexes, and dense wavelength division demultiplexer demultiplexes, all lambda 1 to lambda 176. This is the block diagram or functional diagram for the dense wavelength division multiplexing. So we are having a backbone DWM network structure. That DWM based network structure can divide into 3 classes: simple point to point DWDM, then DWM wavelength routing with electronic TDM, time domain multiplexing. Switching routing backbone network is used. Electronic means it is mixture of optical network and electronic computer network, and all optical DWM networks are also there. So simple point to point link is there. So one node is there and second node is there, and it is having the DWDM in between the nodes. So this DWDM architecture, the electronic node can be SONET, SDS switches, or internet routers, or ATM switches, or any other type of the network nodes. So node to node communication, but DWDM is there. The DWDM node consists of typically a pair of wavelength multiplexer demultiplexer and pair of optical electrical optical converters. Then each wavelength channel is used to transmit one stream of data individually. Obviously, every channel is given for one type of the data. So DWDM wavelength multiplexer combines all the light wave channels. So all such channels which is having individual data, all such channels can be combined in the DWDM wavelength division multiplexer into one light beam and pumps into the single fiber. So use the single fiber for propagation. Then the combined light of the multiple wavelength can be separated with the help of demultiplexer at the receiver, and signal carried by each wavelength channel can be then converted back to electrical domain through optical to electrical converters, photodetectors. In this way, one wavelength channel can be equivalent to traditional fiber in which one light beam is used. Traditionally, one light beam is used, but traditionally one light beam carries only one wavelength. But here, one light beam carries multiple channels, and each channel can have various further combination of the data which is transmitted simultaneously. So this single beam is having wavelength division multiplexing or dense wavelength division multiplexing. It is worth noting that the wavelength channels in one fiber can be used for both direction, or two fibers are used in each one direction. So bidirectional fibers are there. In this structure, second, that is wavelength routing with electronic TDM, the wavelength routers are used to configure or reconfigure network topology within the optical domain, and TDM network nodes are used to perform the multiplexing and switching of the electrical domain. Okay, so here the routers are used and electrical network backbone is used, and the wavelength routers are used to configure and reconfigure the network to select the node. So particular node combination is there. To select that node combination, like trunk network is there like this. Any path can be selected, optical path can be selected with the wavelength routers, which is efficient to work. So wavelength routing in the electronic TDM combines the optical and electrical network architecture and can be applied in SONET SDH, in which the electrical TDM network node would be SONET switches, or the internet in which the electrical TDM network nodes would be internet routers, or the architecture can also be used in the ATM or synchronous transfer mode. So where the network of electrical TDM network nodes will be ATM switches. Okay, so this depending on which type of the architecture is used, which type of the data is used, the node will be having that type of the functioning. And as it is mixed nodes functioning, nodes can have the conversion protocols. Okay, so that we have yesterday also discussed these things. So electrical TDM switching nodes can be of any kind, that is, though nodes can be SONET SDH, or node can be internet routers, or nodes can be ATM switches. This indicates that all optical TDM nodes in the all optical architecture, so the third type, can be optical SONET switches, or all optical ATM switches, or all optical internet routers. So similar to the previous one, the routers can be optical. So these all optical also having the all these type of the switches, routers, ATM switches in the optical mode. Then in all optical DWDM network, the different types of all optical TDM switches nodes can also be in one network, provided the protocol converters are implemented. So different types of all optical TDM or switches nodes can be used, but the protocol conversions are required, because one node may be having different protocol, another is having, but if they are communicating with each other, protocol converters will be required. Protocol is nothing but the set of rules to have the various packaging, etc., and levels detection, and error correction, error checking levels, etc. So in fact, the optical TDM switch node and the wavelength routers in one routing site can be combined into one all optical switches knows that not only forward packets through the time domain multiplexing, but also selects the light path intelligently according to the available. So this is light router, optical routing it is available, and the traffic loads of the link. Okay, the optical TDM switch node and the wavelength router in one routing site can be combined into one all optical switching. So this switch and the router can be combined as all optical switching node, and not only it forward packets through the time domain multiplexing, but also select the path routing is also done. So switching and routing combined together. Set of optical network elements in which connected by the optical fiber links have optical channels which are carrying the client signal. So these are the set of the optical networks, optical transport network OTN, in which the set of optical network elements connected by optical fiber links, okay, optical channels which are carrying the client signals. The channels carry the client signals, and those channels are in optical fiber links. So optical fiber links have some channels carrying the client signals, and those set of optical network elements connected to by the optical fiber links. So optical network elements connected by the links, and links carries the client signal. Okay. It is able to provide following functionality of the optical channels. It can transport, it can multiplex, it can have switching, it can have management, it can supervise, it can have survivability. So transportation, multiplexing, switching, management, network supervision, and network survivability, all these functioning can have for the channels, optical channels. Then OTN is used because of the following reasons. The operators need to use existing fibers to satisfy, that means to have the better bandwidth, better loss wise, better intercompatibility performances. So growing the demand of the services and bandwidth, the DWDM increased the fiber bandwidth but lack the protection and management capability. So DWDM basically has the function of increasing the bandwidth, but it is not looking for protection and management capabilities of the network. Okay, it is only trying it is only having the feature of increasing the bandwidth. It is nothing to do with the protection and management capabilities. Now, as the operator needs the existing fiber to satisfy the growing demand of the services and bandwidth, okay, so it has to satisfy the demand of the services, demand of the bandwidth, and DWDM increases the fiber bandwidth. So DWDM is to be used, but DWDM is not looking for protection and management capability, it is lacking. But OTN then combines benefit of SONET SDH with DWDM. Okay, OTN combines some of the benefits of our protection and management capability, and this protection management capability features from one protocol. It combines with the technology or technique of the DWDM, and it will have the drawback, whatever the lacuna is there of the DWDM, to have the protection management can be provided with the network. So both protection capability, management capability, and the large increase the fiber bandwidth are the features. Those are combined by OTN. So OTN combines these benefits of SONET and DWDM. Now what is OTN? OTN is the optical network elements connected by the optical fiber links have optical channels are carrying the client signals. So OTN is having the functions like transport, multiplexing, switching, management, supervision, so survivability. Okay. And OTN basically combines the basic benefits of SONET SDH with the DWDM. So optical transport network are there, OTN. All type of the frames are to be transported transparently in OTM frame without them having to be modified. Okay. So various systems will have various type of the frames, and all types of the frames are to be transported transparently in OTM frame. OTM frame is there, and in that OTM frame all type of the frames can be kept or encapsulated, coded, and they can be transparently transferred. So this transparency is there, that system will not bother about which type of the frame it is carrying. Okay, so it can combine all type of the frames, all types of the data frames, protocols. A field is expected to add FEC, forward error correction. There is a computer network. If the computer data is being transmitted, then data may have errors, then error checking will be there, and then resending acknowledgements will be there, but error correction also will be there. So forward error correction is possible and it can be used. To perform the necessary corrections to achieve an error rate is determined. Okay, the field is expected to add FEC to perform the necessary corrections to achieve error rate determined. So whatever the error rate is determined is there, that error rate is achieved by having the error corrections. Okay, forward error correction. If there are errors, whenever 1 is sent, 0 may be received, 0 is sent, 1 may be received, data may be becoming erroneous. There is error which is getting added, or it is corrupting the data whenever the data is flowing in the network. So there is always error. That error can be detected if one packet or one data is sent from the sender node to the receiver node checks whether the error is there. If it is observing the error, finding the error into data packet, it requests again to send the data packet. This is also one type of the method. And second, automatically error correction may be there. So without requesting the resending the data, automatic error checking correction can be, forward error correction can be there. The data is coded in encrypted and coded in such a way that the errors can be automatically corrected. So this will achieve the error rate which is achieved determined in the design. Okay, so necessary correction to achieve an error rate which is determined. So FEC can be added. So optical transport network OTN, having the layered structure. So layered structure of OTN architecture. So it can have the OCH payload unit, OCH data unit, okay, OCH transport unit, OCH layer, OCH carrier group, optical multiplexing section, optical transport section, and pre-OTN there may be digital wrapper, optical channel option, and then optical physical section. So digital wrapper may have 3 again sections, subdivisions. All these are layered structure. One function, after completion of one function there will be second function. So maybe data encapsulation, error correction, error checking, etc. Protocols are there. So OTN interface consists of several levels, starting from the optical fiber. Following are the OTN interface levels, that is OTS, optical transmission section. Okay, OTS, optical transmission or transport section. So OTS, optical transmission section, which supports the signal transmission, optical checking its integrity. Okay, this optical transmission section checks or supports the signal transmission, checking its integrity with optical. transmission. So whether it is correct, it is a part of that frame, it is checked. That is by optical transmission section. Then OMS, that is optical multiplex section, OMS, okay, optical multiplex section. After checking in the optical transmission section, the multiplex section will support the feature to provide wavelength division multiplexing. It will multiplex the waves, various waves. Wavelength division multiplexing is achieved. Then third layer is OCH, which is optional layer, which is the level of one end of the optical signal. Okay. The level allows modification of connection and routing or rerouting and maintenance functions to the connection. Okay. So this level may be optional and may be employed, and this level allows modification of the connection. If the connection modification is there, that is routing and rerouting. Connection modification is routing on or rerouting and maintenance function to the connections. So connection maintenance function is there. If any connection is having error or problem, it can be maintained. Then in order to get access for end-to-end networking of the optical channel, the transparency convey user information. Transparently, the convey user information. Why? To get access of end-to-end networking. The optical networks to transparently convey user information. So user information will not bother the transmission mechanism. So whatever the encapsulated in the frame, it will be transmitted. So that information should not is not bothering the end-to-end networking. So that is its meaning. Transparency means that. And the OCH layer is employed in the OTN structure. Okay. OCH layer can be employed in the structure. Okay. Then OCH layer. Okay. So various OCH layers are there. OCH carrier, OCH layer is there. Out of that, this is OCH layer. Then OMS, that is optical multiplex section is there, which supports this feature, providing OCH optical channel, which is the level of one end of the optical signal, and this level allows modification, that is routing, that is OCH, and this OCH layer can be employed in the OTN structure. Okay. To have the transparency end-to-end networking, to modify, to maintain the paths, that is routing. It also ensures the connection rearrangement, routing, for flexible routing. Okay. So it also ensures the connection rearrangement, that is flexible routing. So OCH is ensuring the flexible rearrangement, that means routing. So it is end-to-end networking, it is doing end-to-end networking, it is routing, rerouting, okay, establishing the connectivity, re-establishing the new connectivity. Either full or reduced optical channel availability can be employed as per required. Full optical channel availability or reduced optical channel, it can be employed as per the requirement. Sometimes that optical channel may not be filled completely and it may be empty. So in those cases, the efficient algorithm, that OCH can have the routing, rerouting, restructuring, and additional load can be of multiple nodes can be combined. One node is having some load, other node is having some other node, and that path can be shared efficiently with some algorithm by the routers, by maintaining, rerouting, the rearrangement of the routing. Because of this, either full or reduced optical channel availability can be employed as per requirement. Then digital wrapper can correspond to digital envelope, the level digital wrapper itself is broken down into 3 levels. So this level may have 3 levels. And OTU, optical transport unit, which gives the possibility of adopting the correction using FEC, that is forward error checking. OTU can have the possibility of adopting the corrections using the forward error checking. So forward error checking can be employed, can be integrated, can be applied, used in the protocols with the help of or at level of OTU, optical transport unit, and it gives the possibility of adopting or using the correction using the FEC. So if FEC is employed, then correction can be possible with the help of FEC. Then OTU layer gives additional functionality by adding forward error checking. If it is a possibility, it can have the additional functionality of forward error checking to the network elements. OTU layer provides the functionality of forward error checking, correction. Not only checking, correction. The addition of forward error correction allows the carrier operators to reduce the number of optical devices and switches used in the network, like amplifiers, multiplexers, 3R generators, etc. So if the error is possible to correct at some node, so to avoid the error, we are placing multiple amplifiers to sufficiently boost the signal so that noise will not be introduced and errors will not be introduced. So they are ensuring by sufficiently amplifying the optical signal. So when signal is sent from one node source, okay, and it has to reach to the destination, so amplifiers, multiplexers, 3R generators are placed very frequently to process those signals before they get deterioration, so that without introduction of the error, before introduction of the error, they are amplified so that error will not be introduced. Okay. So number of such devices, amplifiers, multiplexers, 3R generators requires are more to protect the system from the errors. But if the forward error correction is introduced, then we can remove alternate or some of the amplifiers in between, some of the multiplexers, some of the 3R generators. So it can send the signal from one amplifier to the next for very long distance. Now if suppose the error is introduced by this transmission because of the weak signal, that error can be corrected. So forward error correction technique is there. If the error correction is there, so there is a least botheration of the errors due to, and least care is taken for the errors. And that's why amplifiers and multiplexers and 3R generators can be reduced. So addition of FEC allows carrier operators to reduce the number of optical devices and number of switches used in the network. For example, amplifier, multiplexer, 3R generators, etc. Okay. OTU also encapsulates two additional layers, that is the optical channel data unit ODU and optical channel payload unit, okay, OPU. Okay. So ODU and OPU can be OTU can also encapsulates two additional layers. So OTU layer is having additionally these two layers along with the additional forward error checking. Okay. So ODU is optical data unit which manages the connectivity regardless of the clients and offers the protection and management of the connectivity. Okay. So ODU is the optical data unit. Okay. Its data unit, optical data unit, which manages the connectivity. It manages the connectivity. It is the routing, regardless of the clients. Okay. Regardless of the clients, maybe ATM, maybe Sonet, maybe internet applications. So whatever the client configuration, client specifications and client's requirements are there, regardless of that, it can manage the connectivity and offers the protection also and management of the connectivity also. It does the management of the connectivity and offer protection also. This protection is maybe due to the error corrections. And this is the ODU, optical data unit, which manages connectivity regardless of the client, offers protection and manages this connectivity. First, it manages the connectivity regardless of the clients. It manages the connectivity, establishes the connectivity. Then for that connectivity, it offers the protection and it manages this connectivity. Once it is established, it manages for long time this connectivity. So whatever the time the connectivity or communication is required. So ODU has the functions of managing connectivity regardless of the client, offering a protection and managing the connectivity for long time, continuous. ODU layer provides the client dependent connectivity, connection, protection and monitoring, whereas the OPU enables access to payload information of SDH SONET signals. Okay. So ODU provides the client independent connectivity. So ODU is looking for connectivity, establishing the connectivity, that is routing, then connection, protection and monitoring, whereas that supervising, that is monitoring. Whereas the OPU enables access to the payload information of SDS SONET etc. Okay. So these are the functions ODU and OPU. Client independent connectivity, connection protection and monitoring. This is ODU and providing the access to the payload information of SDS SONET by OPU. So OPU is the optical payload unit. As its name suggests, it is a payload unit, that is data payload, which indicates a match between signal and type of the client. Okay. So which is the type of the signal is there, whether it is SONET or ATM etc., and type of the client, which is the protocol of the client, which is the application of the client, type of the client, that is matched by the OPU. So OPU is having access to the payload information. So it is enabling the access to the payload. Whatever the payload information is there, data payload is coming over the network. So that data payload is matched for particular application and it is shared, isn't it? It is looked after by the OPU, that is optical payload unit, and ODU is optical data unit. Here it is optical data unit and OPU is optical payload. So data unit manages the connectivity, data transfer, and OPU manages the access, that is sharing of data, delivering the data, taking the data and delivering the data is managed by OPU. Whereas once taken data is connected into the branches from one end to other end is by ODU. So optical data unit manages the connectivity regardless of the client. It do not bother about the client, but the OPU has to bother about the client because it is accessing the payload information, that is which client is there, which payload is there, it matches that and then it will deliver. So it has to bother the type of the client, but ODU has, regardless of the client, it has to have the connectivity. Once the OPU has taken care of the client, accordingly it has coded the frame, Then once the frame is ready, that will treated as a data. Whatever the frame inside the frame, it is transparently treated as a data by optical data unit. So ODU is nothing to do with the type of the client, type of the data. It is transparently taken over the network by the ODU. But OPU, what it does, it has to deliver the data. That's why it accesses the payload information, and it bothers about type of the applications. Okay. So this is the difference between ODU and OPU. So data unit and payload unit. So payload unit, OPU, optical payload unit, which indicates the match between the signal and type of the client. Okay, it indicates the match between signal and type of the client. Okay, so it has to observe, take care of the such matching. So this is OTN. So OTN we have left, just started yesterday, and we have actually revised those things and completed today. So all the things are just revisions, that's why we have gone very fast. We have already discussed in previous lectures. So this is about the optical transport network, OTN, optical transport network, OTN. Then, as we have discussed the previously, we are having the in syllabus the SONET, details of the SONET. So synchronous optical network, SONET, synchronous optical network, that is SONET, synchronous optical network, SONET, network, SONET, synchronous optical network, or it is also called in American style synchronous digital hierarchy, synchronous digital hierarchy. Okay, so either it is called SONET or SDH, both are same. Okay, synchronous optical network, SONET, or synchronous digital hierarchy, SDH. There is a layered functioning, that is there is a hierarchy. Okay, there is a hierarchy of the tasks, hierarchy of the functions. So, and it is synchronous. So synchronous digital hierarchy, it is called hierarchy protocol, or synchronous optical network protocol, SONET. So SONET stands for synchronous optical network. So as we have discussed, I have told you previous also, these topics we are just touching very shallow. In detail, these topics we will study more in the degree level or MTech level or research level. And if you are going for the specialized course for network engineer or optical network engineer, then you will have to have this in detail, isn't it? So just to have the introduction, we are having these points. Okay, OTN, SONET, then optical networks, optical amplifiers. Okay. So SONET stands for synchronous optical network. SONET is synchronous optical network. Synchronous optical network. Okay. And SDH stands for synchronous digital hierarchy. Just we have seen here. Okay. SDH stands for synchronous digital hierarchy. Now SONET is a communication protocol that is used to transmit a large amount of data over relatively large distances using optical fiber. So SONET is synchronous optical communication protocol. Okay. SONET is synchronous optical communication network or its protocol. That's why SONET is a communication protocol that is used to transmit large amount of data over relatively large distances using optical fibers. As optical systems are always having the communication for long distance because they are having very low losses. So they are long haul communication systems, long distance communication system they are. So the protocols are, that is SONET, are having long distance, large distance communication. So SONET is a communication protocol that is used to transmit the large amount of data. Bandwidth is large amount of data over relatively large distance, because loss is less, large distance is there. So SONET is a communication protocol that uses, or that used to transmit large amount of data over relatively large distance using optical photo. SONET is optical, synchronous optical network, isn't it? SONET is synchronous optical network, so it is related to optical system. An optical system can handle large amount of data because bandwidth is enormous. An optical system can have long distance communication because loss is very less. Bandwidth is very large, loss is very less. It is the features of the optical system, and SONET is an optical system communication protocol. Therefore, SONET is a communication protocol that uses the to transmit large amount of data over a relatively long distance or large distance using optical fiber. Okay. So with SONET, multiple digital data streams are transferred at the same time over the optical fiber. With the SONET, multiple digital data streams are transferred at the same time over the optical fiber. So it is a synchronous optical network which is having the ability for transferring, communicating multiple digital data streams that transfer at same time over the optical fiber. Okay. So SONET is having the ability of multiple data streams to be transferred over the optical fiber at the same times. So WDM features are there. WDM features are there. So this is about the SONET. So the SONET in detail we will check in tomorrow's lecture, and I think there is a optical standard IEEE 802 that is remaining. So in 6th chapter SONET and IEEE 802, these two bits are remaining. So most probably tomorrow we will complete the syllabus of this 6th chapter on overall total optical communication system, and we are already in the syllabus we are having a shallow approach of the just introductory approach of the things, and again due to the pandemic the lectures are conducted again for having lesser depth than the syllabus also. So most of the points are very just rightly we can say just touched the concepts, definition levels, etc. Most of the things in the syllabus. So the syllabus is MCQ oriented. It is not having in detail discussions, etc. So only the informative in MCQ level discussions are there. So I have given you the 4 assignments, quizzes from the 5th chapter. So remaining quiz I will give today, because yesterday I was busy with the practicals, your practicals making, and I will upload on YouTube the practicals today till in the afternoon or after this lecture. So you can go through the practicals thoroughly. You can check each and every practical, because you have to give the oral on that, isn't it? You have to face the term or completion oral, and in that practical the various readings are shown. You have to fill the readings in appropriate experiments. So you might have written the journal till now. So experiment 1 to experiment 7 you have to write, and in that experiments you have to avoid the complicated figures which are for the connectivity, connections, etc. Figure numbers are given, and initial pages also you need not have to write, no. So these are just for your information. So only you have to write the experiment 1, experiment 2 up to experiment 7, and again from experiment particular figures you have to avoid.
and those are given. The instructions are very clearly given. In the April only it was uploaded, journal was uploaded PDF file. So you have to write on the paper and then you have to convert in the PDF and you have to submit in just like the previous previous semester submissions. And before uploading that, before making the PDF, you have to write the readings. Readings are very clearly mentioned and seen on the in the video. So all 7 experiment videos will be uploaded, and before all 7 experiment videos, one video of in detail description describing all the parts and how to connect and what are the parts and what is the meaning of the functioning of those parts and connectivity, optical fiber, how it is connected, how it is looks like, and how it is transmitted, and how light is observed from that, and how the data can be measured on the meters and CRO and etc. The establishing the kit connections and running the kit. This demo video is also there, which is not experiment video, but this demo video you should learn it, watch it, because based on those questions will be asked in the exam, isn't it? How this connection is done, how this what is the role of this, what is the role of that. So these things you will be asked so in the exam. So the experiments are 7, only 7 experiments are there, and for the in the journal 7 experiments are there in journal also, manual, and for those 7 experiments 7 experimental videos are there, very short videos are there, 4 minutes 5 minutes videos are there, and one video is there 10 minutes or 6 minutes. That video is explaining how to use the kit. So additional 1 or 2 videos are there. So those videos you have to watch, the practical videos, and all of you have to watch it compulsorily. Okay, so that you will be able to answer in the practical exam. Practical exam is this week. So it is very simple. It is very simple. If you watch it once or twice, it is very clear and simple. Okay, so please watch the video and how to take the attendance of practicals. So you have to do something activity, isn't it? So you can do it so that I can identify you are gone through the video. Okay, so that is the practical attendance, we can say. And then you have to write the readings. Very simple reading writing is there. Table 1 or 2 or 3 readings are there. Just you have to fill the number 5 volt, 3 volt, 6 volt. For digital you have to fill whenever the input is 1, output is also 1. Whenever the input is 0, output is 0, isn't it? So square wave is used for that, and square wave high is there, output square wave is high. Input square wave low is there, output square wave low. So high input is high, output is high. Input is low, output is low. So we can write the input 0, output 0, input 1, output 1, or 0 volt, 5 volt, 0 volt, 0 volt, 5 volt, 5 volt. Input and output are same. So this is digital connectivity. Analog, you can observe the voltages. Voltages are seen on in the video. So you can observe that. Input voltage kiti hai, how much is input voltage, how much is output voltage. Write it into the table. So this is about the practical. So I will upload it immediately after this lecture, all the practicals. It was under preparation and now it is completed. I have prepared it. So I will require maybe 1 or 2 hours to upload, because the 6, 7, 8, 9 practical videos are there. So it may take some time, or otherwise I will go to college. There is a large bandwidth, sufficiently fast internet is there, and in afternoon I will upload it. So today till afternoon, till before 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, you will get all these videos. So you can write the journal, you can prepare the PDF. One front page, index page is required. Okay, for every experiment the top page is required. to roll number, experiment name, etc. So experiment pages, 2-3 pages, one top page is there which is having the heading, and all experiments will have one index. So always prepared will be with you, and you make the PDF of it and submit it. I will put the link also today. So that PDF you have to upload. Okay, this is the first thing. And the pages you have to preserve. Whenever you come to college, you have to submit the journal, you have to submit the minor project report, you have to submit the minor your seminar report individually. Minor project report is within one group, you have to submit one project report, and you have to submit the now 6th semester project report. This report should be very less number of pages. Do not dump anything into the report. So only required information, that too with the double column, etc., so that it will become minimum number of pages. Okay. Do not keep the blank pages, blank spaces, etc. That will increase the unnecessarily increase the number of pages. So all this we have to do. So just go through the YouTube practical videos once or twice or as many times you want, and understand it. Please understand, you have to give the orals, examinations are there. So most probably tomorrow we'll finish the syllabus. Only one lecture may be required to complete the 6th chapter. Last 1 or 2 bits are remaining. This bit and one more bit is there. And practicals I am uploading, and I am uploading the quiz also. For 5th chapter I have uploaded 4 quizzes, remaining quiz I will upload, and for 6th also I will upload. So this will be continued for 2-3 days, 4 days, so that this all from my side all will be delivered to you. I have delivered notes also for 3 chapters. First 3 chapters I will deliver by this 4-5 days, 3-4 days. Okay, so you have to be prepared with the all these questions and the notes. One thing is there, you have to submit all the quiz. So quiz carries marks that will be included in the continuous assessment marks. Okay. So attempt the quiz and get the, before attempting quiz, if you want, we can go through the lecture so that quiz will be correctly attempted. Okay. So I will stop here. We will meet tomorrow. Okay. Thank you.